Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Team Flyer, the Always Believer, vice versa, same thing. Starting this Monday with a kick and a laugh, of course. It's Motivational Monday here on the Always Believer, of course. And we have with us, as always, Cassandra. Hi, Cassandra.
Hello, good morning. How are you,
Good
Ariane?
morning. I'm still very sleepy, hence, calling y'all Team Flyer. Well, you are, but you know what I mean. I'm like, welcome back, Team Flyer. That's not the name of the show. So yeah, sleepy, but good, 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 happy, which is good. How are you?
I am also doing well. Just working on a lot of different projects and getting ready for some big life changes coming up, which I'm excited to share here shortly. So yeah, just feeling like I'm in the zone this week actually. And it's
That's
only
good.
Monday. And it's
It's
only
only
Monday.
Monday. Exactly. You gotta start the day and the week strong, and that's actually really perfect with this quote. It's a nice segue. There you go. And the quote for today, I'll be happy to say it, is either you run the day or the day runs you by Jim Rohn. What are your thoughts, Cassandra?
Well, we've discussed this before on different Motivational Mondays and as part of other interviews on the podcast. But I do think that daily intentions and daily habits, for if you will, are just like one of the most important things because that does help set your intention and your goals. And sometimes when you break things down to the point of when I wake up, I'm going to do zip, 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 like these five things before I even start any other projects. I do think that that can set you up to just feel like you're owning the day rather than letting the day own you.
As always, I feel like you guys will always listen to the same thing or my same response. I completely agree. But it's true though. I feel like this reminds me of another quote that I actually really love a whole lot, and I'm really trying to do so as I speak. It's control the controllable. As in, like, I like having things organized. I like having things made on time. I like knowing when things are coming their way or what's the next big change happening. But life doesn't really work that way. There's a lot of curveballs, hence, the pandemic, for example, that no one saw coming. And here we are to say, the biggest one yet in our current time. To daily things that, there might be traffic along the way, or I might forget, I don't know, my sunglasses, and it's really sunny. Whatever the setback is, you know what I mean? So going back to control what you can only control, this quote that we have for today actually makes a lot of sense of like, do what you need to make your day the most comfortable, of course, but the most orderly and like in however way shape you can. Yeah.
Plus, my sister and I talk about this because we have been both on a journey of personal growth over the past year. And even, I mean,
Beyond,
yeah,
I
and
would
beyond,
say.
like, I feel like it's never, I don't think it's going to stop at this point.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
but like, it's very funny because I've never had to really try hard to be up early and ready to go. Like since I was a very young girl, I wake up at like 6 a.m. just like regularly, even if I have the option to sleep in. Um, so it's funny because when I was young and I'd be at sleepovers, I used to like wake up at 6 a.m. and then like help my friends' parents like make breakfast and like get the table set up and like have everything ready, like get a shower like as a teenager. And it's so funny because like I was just ready to go, like, and I got so many things done in the morning while my friends were all sleeping, which I'm not, that's not to say like sleeping in is bad. Like please sleep in. I'm not saying that, but I am saying like when you, even in the early morning, sometimes you can find a little bit more time for yourself and like to do your meditation or listen to the audiobook that you've been just wanting to finish the chapter to, but you've been so busy during the week. And I do think that sometimes the early morning can be when you get the most things done. And my one of my cousin is working remotely, and she's like, I literally do my best work from 7:30 to 9:30 every single day. She's like, after that, I mean, it's not super busy, but like she's like, I'm working, and then like at 9:30, I'm kind of like, okay, I did a lot.
I can agree to both once again, as always. I'm also an early bird, so I definitely in the sleepovers, no matter how old I was, and even as an adult, sleepover, we just like even if we stay up till late, or I mean, depending on the time, of course. But in general, I will always wake up early. This is why I always brought a book with me. I mean, I love reading, so I mean, it's kind of common in me to always bring a book everywhere. But always the sleepovers. There's that scene, oh, I just remembered Rory from Gilmore Girls. She brought a book to not, I would say prom, it wasn't her prom, it was like a random high school dance in her new school. And she brought a date. I forgot his name right now, but she brought a date. And he's like, why, like, am I going to be too boring? That's why you brought a book. It's like, she says something witty, of course, because it's Rory Gilmore. It's like, I always bring a book everywhere I go. I'm one of those, basically. So that has saved me a lot, because a lot of times if it's like a house I'm not too familiar with and you don't really know, not if you can take a shower, but whatever. I'm just like, here, my book, or here, like my headphones. Let me just like let me zone into this. And then the second thing you mentioned of getting stuff done. Yeah, always. My friends think I'm crazy that I get up. Not, my routine has changed slightly because of circumstances, but in general, it would usually is between 5, 6 in the morning. And I write my journal, and I write like what I'm thankful for, and I do like my whole intentions for the day, and then I yoga and I meditate, and I just take a long time for me, myself, and I have a really good breakfast, and all those things are really important to me. And even for my birthday that happened earlier this year, um I woke up really early, and they're like, oh my god, it's your birthday, like, like take a break, which is good, and I should take more breaks, I get it. But I'm like, there's something about that thing in the morning of just having that time for myself, especially my birthday, where I'm usually like, especially lately because of quarantine and whatnot, I'm talking on the phone constantly. So it's like, because I can't really go out anywhere, obviously. So I just think that's really important, and that's a great method. And if you listen to like, oh my gosh, like all these personal growth people in general, from like Oprah to like Gary Vee to like whoever, um the morning's always the best time to get stuff done. And I think I've mentioned this before, actually. I just remember another example when I used to work and study at the same time, or work a million jobs and study for college. I rather, even if I get off work really late, instead of staying up to study, I'd rather go to bed and wake up early to study, for example.
Yeah, this is so cliche, but the early bird gets the worm. And
He does. I don't know
you
what
know,
the
you
worm
gotta wake
is, but
up.
I guess,
But, so like this is kind of like what it will look like every morning when I wake up. And I do create daily habits, but I change them up because I do things like, and I don't want to always just, I'm someone who's never going to pick the same locker in a gym, or, do the same exact thing every time, because I have been out.
preach.
Yeah, so like I don't always necessarily love like a routine where you just like do the exact same things. But when I first wake up in the morning, I do start with coffee these days. I did not, so I am 34 years old, and I did not start drinking coffee till I was like 26. So that's been a big change for me in the past years. And then like I didn't even have it regularly. Like I wasn't making it at my house even when I was drinking it. But now I have like an espresso machine. Like I'm bougie. I'm trying to be bougie. So I wake up in the morning and I drink 8 ounces of water, and then I make a coffee. Then I'm gonna listen to my daily briefing, which I like to, I listen to the skim, and I read the skim because I do love it, and I get a little bit of news from there, very quick, like not long. Like we're talking like less than 5 minutes, and then um, I am going to be looking like I have my vitamins, like so I have to get my daily vitamins. And I just feel like instantly I always feel better when I'm taking my the supplements, and I have some green juice. So like I will do that. And then from there, like, so my planner, and you can get any planner you want, but like my planner it breaks everything down. So by month, then by week, then by day. So I have everything that I want to do like broken down by to the lowest level of days, and then also what am I going to do for this day specifically, which I pretty much already have written out a couple days in advance of like how am I going to get through this whole day, and like what am I accomplishing by the end of it. And then I just, start with that list. As I am unemployed right now, so I don't have a job, it's not like I'm going to work. Then I basically focus on all the things that I'm doing. But right now, I'm in kind of a whirlwind because I have a lot of things coming up, and I'm actually going to be employed soon. So I've got a lot going on. So basically I have to work through a lot of things every day. And I don't know, like it's very difficult because I do think that if you just wake up in the morning and say, okay, like what am I feeling today? I think you can do that. I think you can, but I just don't know if it's structured enough to kind of get you to like your end goal, which is what is your end goal? Like, do you have an end goal? And if you break it down by the day, I think that's really important because you've got major goals that you want to do in the year, major goals that you want to finish by the month. But sometimes it's necessary to get the goals that's like, I need to go shopping today and get groceries. And I need to do this, this, and this. I need to go to the post office. Like those normal daily things are important. So it's really good to feel like you accomplish your goals that you set out for yourself.
Definitely. I mean, a lot of times when you break down like what you were saying, those goals, people are like get so overwhelmed of like, oh my God, it's such a big goal. I'm like, yeah, but just keep breaking it down, breaking it down, breaking it down. And if you do one thing a day, then you'll get to that end goal, of course, as long as you know what that is. And then on the flip side, what you were saying about going with the flow, it's also really important. But then if going with your flow that day is your end goal, then you're kind of doing the same thing that we're kind of, I was like telling you to do. It sounds very mandatory, but no, you know what I mean? Kind of getting that message across. Um, because I think going with the flow is really important as well.
Yes,
I
that's
just, there's a time and a place, and this is mainly for people who, we all have goals. We all have like, we want to move at the end of the month, or we want to get a new car, or we just want to make sure that we work out twice this week. No matter where you land on that spectrum and then some, it's they're still goals and they're still there for a reason. So definitely, like, what I love about the quote is make sure that you run the day, you control the day to the best of your abilities, of course, with allowing curveballs and whatnot. Because if you let the day run you, well, kind of sort of disaster happens because you get overwhelmed, you get anxious, and you give up. You can't, typical quote that we've known forever: Rome wasn't built in a day. So you just get overwhelmed that you're like, oh my God, I was supposed to do all these things today. Like, no, just instead of doing those 20 things, do 10, maybe 5. I don't know. It depends what they are.
but
Because yeah,
then on the flip side of that, so you can sometimes wake up with the best intentions and all the things you want to accomplish, and then it doesn't happen. I mean, kids, there could be a mood, or someone's sick, or you start and then all these terrible things just all of a sudden happen. And I've been trying to really work through kind of like not letting that get me down. Like I actually went to the post office. That's why I brought it up like yesterday. And I was trying to fill out a customs form to send a package overseas and somehow skip the first page. So like I had filled it all out, but then like the first page wasn't filled out, and it's one of the ones where you peel it apart.
mm-hmm.
So basically, I had to do it again. And while I was filling that out, two women came in with pretty much 20 pieces of certified mail each. And there was only one person at the counter, which basically like elongated my post office time from like 10 minutes to 40. And
I
I was
laugh
standing
because
there.
that happened to me similar like 2 months ago.
Yeah. And I was standing there and I thought, well, don't act annoyed, because what if I had to send out 10 pieces of certified mail and clearly I wrote the customs form wrong? So that was on me. And if I wouldn't have, I could have been able to get it through really quickly. So there are things like, yes, that took me 40 minutes now, and I had to rush back and then skip a couple things because I needed to get a shower because I was at the gym, and just move on with it. And I think it's that also ability to adapt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not sticking
Always.
to a prescribed list per se, although a list is good. And I do love lists, but I've moved away from the list to the minute. Whereas my best friend Megan, oh, she's so annoying with those lists. Like, she's got it. She gives you a 5 minute window for chatting, 5 minute window for chatting, and then she's like, on to the next thing. Whereas I'm like, well, I want to take a different bike route to the gym and I want to stop at a flower shop. So I'm going to go do that. So basically, like, don't
Balance is key, people. Balance is key.
yeah, don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself by taking every minute of the day. Like, make sure that you leave time for just like the moment, for like
Yeah,
deciding to do something different.
completely. When you also mentioned that you take different routes or whatever, I do the same. My husband does the same. When he goes to work, he never takes the same route. He go different ways, thankfully. And he's like, I don't want to see the same things every day. I mean, I have to go to the same work every day, let alone, the same ways. And then when I used to go to work, aka before pandemic and whatnot, and like outside of this four walls, you know what I mean? Now we all do everything through Zoom. I would also take different ways. And then down to everything, because I took the metro a lot in Barcelona, of course, or like the bus. So like I would like make a mix of like that and a little bit of the bicycle, or instead of going down those set of stairs into the subway, I'll go to the other side of the stairs. Maybe it's an extra 20 steps. I don't know, but something different. So I do agree with that. Like you change it up and and you never know what you're going to see, like that flower shop or something like that. So yeah.
But I do think, like, in the first 5 minutes when you wake up, like, kind of just do a couple of steps that you
Set
do
the
regularly.
tone, set the tone for the
Yeah.
day. That.
Yeah. And what wakes you up the best. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you wash your face immediately, or, if you, because I like need mouthwash the minute I get out of bed. Like, I'm gonna be putting mouthwash and like brushing my teeth right away before I do anything else. And so, like, if that's what you need to do, then set your intention of like, how do I wake up in the best light? Do you need to see the sun on your face?
Yes to both, please. I do love brushing my teeth first thing in the morning before I have breakfast because I take a little bit to have breakfast as well. So like for me, it makes sense. But
Yeah.
before I get up, the only reason I reach for my phone is music. I usually sleep with calming music, so I already have that going on, and it depends on my mood. But sometimes it's like a motivational kind of pump up, kind of like, sometimes my favorite music and my favorite song. I don't know, but usually it's that, and I'm like, and then through like, I do my stretches and I wake up and I go to the bathroom and I brush my teeth and all that stuff. You have that music in the background, so that's definitely one of my firsts.
And I do also use music for my mood. Like, if I just had a really bad day the day before, sometimes like I will wake up and just put on heavy metal, just like bang
I
it
can
out,
see
like
you.
with anger, and then like woosah.
I can see. Yep, I can see you do both, without a doubt. My gosh. Oh, I love this quote so much. It's a very quote unquote simple quote. Um,
Yeah, and I
but
think
it
it
runs deep. It
out.
runs deep.
Yeah, and I think it gets down to like the most basic of that, like the monotonous things that you aren't thinking about. Like, this is the time to just like think about that right now and be like, what can I do in my daily routines that just changes it up and sets the tone for me in a little bit of a different way? That's why I like this quote, because we are at the most basic level. Exactly. Like, it is so simple, but like the things that we do and the things we practice every day add to our personal growth exponentially for our future.
Indeed. That's a big statement right there. It was like, you left me thinking a lot more. I was like, oh wow, yeah.
So,
um,
lady, do you want to wrap up? Tell them the quote one more time.
yeah, definitely. So today's quote once more is either you run the day or the day runs you by Jim Rohn. So yeah, tell us down below about any of your daily habits. So like, hey, the more the merrier, because maybe we just find new ones that we can also adapt to and just like add them in, you know what I mean? And anything else that comes to your mind when you hear this quote as well, of course. So yeah, thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for tuning in. Be sure to, come back every Wednesday that we have Go to Fly stories, and then Mondays, of course, with more Motivational Mondays and a bunch of surprises along the way. And leave reviews. They're free and they help. As always, comments as always, shares as always, please. Thank you so much, Team Flower. Have a beautiful week and off to the next thing. Bye.
Enjoy the week.